former Brantford resident is organizing a rally on the steps of Brantford City Hall later today to bring attention to a scheduled vote on a history-making bylaw regarding shark fin products.
Come be a part of history in the making. Canada's banning shark fin products today.
Bob Timmons is the Toronto coordinator for the Sea Shepherd, the vessel that patrols the oceans, making sure international laws are being upheld. Last week, the Brantford City Council Committee unanimously recommended Brantford become the first municipality in the country to prohibit the sale, possession, or consumption of shark fin products except those used for medicinal purposes.
And for a small town like for 90,000 people, landlocked, this is a huge opportunity to get the ball rolling within Canada and to hopefully one day shut the borders down with the shark fin products.
The ban was proposed by former Brantford MPP Phil Gillies, now a spokesman for Wild Aid. Today's rally set for 4:45 on the steps of Brantford City Hall.
Gillies adds that the discussion in Brantford is already attracting attention on an international level.
I think it's very good for Brantford's image, not only nationally but internationally. I know members of council and we at Wild Aid have been receiving emails, phone calls from as far away as California, Massachusetts, British Columbia. People saying this is just great. They realize that there's an important environmental issue here. They realize that the practice of shark finning is brutal and horrible, and a lot of people are very anxious that action be taken on this. And Brantford has led the way. Brantford has just come through with flying colors.
So there's a lot of issues out there that need to be dealt with. And, today's for the shark. Today's a positive issue that we're doing. So that's why we're here to support it. And we're going to go in and see the vote.
When the vote goes through, it will be against the law to sell shark fin products here in Brantford. Save our sharks! SOS!
Save our sharks!
SOS!
Save our sharks!
California, this matter is moving forward in a number of jurisdictions. California legislature just passed by a measure of 62 to 8, a measure banning the sale and possession of shark fin. This, of course, is very significant because of all the states in the United States, California has the largest Asian population and, of course, is the largest state in the Union. You will also see further action happening both in the United States and also here in Canada.
We hope it goes through. We believe it's going to go through. It made it this far, so I don't see why it wouldn't. And after this, we're going to take it to Toronto, where they actually eat shark fin soup in dozens of restaurants. It needs to change today, and Brantford's making that history happen.
This is one small thing we can do from Central Canada is to say no to this. I understand that Vancouver and that Toronto are cities that are following shortly with similar resolutions, so we're not alone. We may just be the first.
Hopefully, Brantford. I've read a lot of stuff that Brantford's like, well, what about other things that are happening? But this is a huge global impact that we're actually being very positive on and pushing. Being the first city in Canada to actually put this out, it's just
so they're saying
amazing.
Shark fins had some sort of cancer curing agent.
They believe it's an ancient Chinese secret kind of thing, but there's nothing proven. Sharks do get cancer because of pollution in the ocean now.
Yeah.
So they are getting cancer. It's happening. So it's just my daughter.
As the Constituted Official Council, I support the ban on shark fin and related food products that the city seems poised to do for 3 reasons.
We need to ban all shark products, not just the fin alone, but today it's about the fin. Today we're going to support that.
Number 1, it's the right thing to do. I don't see how anyone can look at the evidence and not believe that this is the right thing to do.
In the case of Brantford, you're looking at a fine assessed by the local Prevention of Cruelty to Animals organization.
Secondly, it demonstrates leadership. To be the first city in Canada to move such a resolution and entertain such a bylaw. Demonstrates leadership on a national and international scale.
SOS!
Save our sharks!
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 SOS!
80% of the fins go to China.
That's the thing is, once it becomes Chinese, you really can't control it,
Well,
right?
well, we want to stop it from going there. At least we can stop it around the world, you know, do our part.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
And
you
then
did something.
as we try and educate them about what's happening, which is happening, Wild Aid, who's helped part of this, is putting in, they got Yao Ming and they got Jackie Chan as, you know, their spokespeople to show, you know, why not to do this. Like, because they don't even call it shark fin soup, they call it fish soup. So like it's a language barrier there in that regard. But 20% is going around the world, so we are supply and demand. So, you know, as long as we still have demand, the supply is going to keep coming.
And number three, the case supporting such an action has been demonstrated. And the peril facing the shark species of the ocean is so dramatic in the evidence of the decline of these species and the potential impact on our oceans. And the oceans are the lungs of the earth. The trees are the lungs of the earth. The oceans are important for our future, and it's the kind of motion that we see not often enough from elected representatives who tend to look only to the next election date, which is in our case less than 4 years away. This is a resolution and a bylaw that will have an impact on the lives of our children and grandchildren and their future on this planet.
Riley's right in the ocean, sees what happens, and I think we need, I saw a lot of letters to the editor that happened last week, wondering why are we doing this? I know we live in central Canada, and I guess there aren't any sharks swimming around in our lakes and in our rivers. But sharks are part of an ecosystem, and they're part of the ecosystem of the oceans of the world, and there's a huge balance there. And if we tip that balance and destroy the sharks that are there, that has a huge impact on our oceans and on the food source of millions of people in this world.
The fine would be set based on whether it's a first-time occurrence or if they've applied immediately. It could be up to $5,000, or we could request a $500 fine.
Turn out to be really interesting. I believe within a year or 2 or 3, you're looking at action in China itself. Well, no, and you know what will happen? That will actually be the action that saves the vast majority of shark species.
Not just sharks.
And one of the comments that was made relates to tradition and the importance of tradition. And as I said, when we watched that documentary, we recognized the fact that this is nothing traditional about this. This is a matter of commerce. It is a matter of, in most cases, a matter of greed. And we see it day in and day out around ecosystems around our world, not just in this particular situation. We see it on a regular basis.
Councillor McCreary.
Yes.
Councillor Atley.
Yes.
Councillor Kings.
Yes.
Councillor Vanisov.
Absolutely.
Councillor Bucci.
Yes.
Councillor Dick-Rumble.
Yes.
Councillor Robel.
Yes.
Councillor Newman.
Yes.
Councillor Chesky-Smith.
Yes.
Councillor Carpenter.
Yes.
Mayor Creel.
Yes.
Carried unanimously.
Historic. Brantford Council has not only voted, but it voted unanimously, making it the first of what we expect to be many municipalities and other level government in Canada to take action on shark fin.
You can applaud now. For those of you watching at home, there's a group that had lots of signs and stuff. They were told they had to be real quiet and sit on their hands and not do anything, and I'm sure it was probably killing you. But, we appreciate you coming in.
History was made in the city of Brantford as councillors voted in favor of banning the sale and trade of shark fins. The decision came at the last City Council meeting and was witnessed by representatives of Wild Aid Canada and about a dozen members of the International Conservation Society Sea Shepherd from Toronto and Buffalo. The practice of shark finning involves catching the ocean's top predator, cutting off or removing the fins, and then dumping the body back overboard, leaving the shark to drown. It was suggested at the council